Dun, dun, dun. Hello, happy Wednesday. Not usually a day when you might see me, but here I am. Today, we're going to be playing, or not playing, but starting to build characters for and a little introduction to a Wrath and Glory actual play. We've been wanting to do one of these for a while. We've done a couple of one-shots, mostly silly ones. So we thought we'd give it a go from ground level and start at the bum end of tier 1 and scrape our way up through the levels of heroism to the heady heights of the Emperor's favoured servants. Unfortunately, with me tonight are a bunch of people who know either the system, the setting, or both better than me. So let's see how badly I can screw this up and how often I need correcting. Aaron is here to correct me on system. Dan is here to correct me on setting. And everybody else can just harangue me as and when the time comes along. So without any further ado, let me introduce to you my peoples. I've got Simon.
Hello, people.
Simon, what are you planning on playing?
So I'm going to play an Inquisitor Acolyte. So basically, I haven't died yet.
Yes, we're starting at tier 1, so it's bottom end of all characters. I've got Jim. Jim, what are you playing?
I'm going to be playing Majestus, the priest.
Majestus. Now there is
Preach.
A name full of Jimmy goodness. Dan P. I've got 2 Dans.
So confusing. You said Dan P, right?
I did, yeah.
Not
Hi.
the command.
I am playing Sister Evelyn, a Sister of Battle novitiate. So we're just bringing the Sister of Battle from tier 2 down to tier 1 because I hate the Hospitaller.
Tell her how it is. I've got Dan M.
Hi, good evening. I'm Other Dan, and this week I'm hoping to play a tech adept by the name of Octavian C37.
And last but not least, my rules lawyer in the hole, Aaron.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron, and today I'm going to be playing Sakar Rez, a teenage ganger from the Underhive, a scrounger, and a survivalist.
Cool. So, yeah, like I said before, we're going to be playing some Wrath and Glory, and we're going to start at tier 1. I know we did our first experiment. The Space Hulk one was at like tier 4 or something equally daft, and then we did a tier 1 orcs only game. But you know, we wanted to give it a little bit of a fair shot, and it's Warhammer Wednesday, except Warhammer's on Fridays now, so it's Warhammer Wednesday.
Soon to be Wednesday again.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and this is Wrath and Glory, and we're calling this story the Bellerophon Index. So let's crack on with the making of characters then. So we've got a Foundry virtual tabletop. All right, so we've all got characters set, well, we haven't got characters set up. We've got character blanks set up in the actors directory. So if you want to open your characters, we can start the old building process. Let's then go to creating an character. So in order to create a character, framework, archetype, character, faction, and details. So starting off with your framework. Now, the framework we're going for is that of an inquisitorial staff. You're going to be the bottom end of the Inquisitor's staff. There is an Inquisitor by the name of Galen Troil of the Ordo Hereticus. And he's got a squad of his people on one of the hives on Gilead Primus. And underneath all of the others, there's going to be U5. So we've got a tier 1.
So is our Inquisitor like a puritanical Inquisitor? Does he lean more towards the radical, or?
He's a bit more radical. For a Hereticus, he's a bit more of a radical. So less hardline than most, partly because he's very old and has seen some shit.
It's always good to work in the gray areas.
Yeah. So he does indeed work in the grey areas. So
that doesn't work for a sister of battle, though.
well, there's grey and then there's grey, isn't there?
She's young. She'll be fine.
So everybody's going to have the Imperium keyword for that.
Do we also have Inquisitorial or just Imperium?
I think probably only Simon would have Inquisition as a keyword at this stage.
Groovy.
Imperium, yeah.
Yeah.
Imperial.
Where did the keywords go?
At the bottom of the first page, under stats, you just do it. There's an add button and you can just pop them in there.
Oh yeah, there it is. Scum and Imperium for Aaron.
That's me. That's actually me in real life too. Scum and Imperium.
So you got your name, your
Is it
faction, your
Imperium or
species,
Imperial?
and your archetype.
So my faction is Scum, my species is human, my archetype is Ganger. And my quote is, "It's better to fade away than be burned down."
Wow, I see we're already deciding on what Space Marine chapter Aaron's getting put in, and they put him in Space Sharks.
Oh yeah, I do like the Space Sharks. Those are my favorite novels. They are just evil badasses. But Carcharodons, good times.
Right, so Dan, you're still going to be taking Sister of Battle rather than Sister Hospitaller.
That is correct.
What faction are we in?
You're in Adeptus Ministorum.
I am indeed.
You're in Adeptus Sororitas.
I am indeed. And I've already got all my keywords and everything in, so.
Yeah.
And,
Simon would be Inquisition.
Yep.
And you'd be Adeptus Mechanicus, Dan.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Is our faction Imperium?
Yes.
Yes.
It better be.
Time for an unclean purge. Do. Alrighty then, on to attributes. Now, in your various archetypes, there is a set of basic stuff that you need to be able to purchase. So we're starting off at the bottom end of tier 1, which means you get not very much.
100 XP.
100
XP.
XP,
Yep.
yes. Fortunately, to be human costs 0 XP. That means you start with a speed of 6.
Where is speed?
It should already be in your thing on the second page in combat.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It's basic. It's all everyone's set to 6 unless you're like a Space Marine or an
Not very
Eldar.
many that get more than 6.
Yep.
It's the Eldar and the Marines, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
Pretty much. And the Kroot, I think, have a speed of 8,
they
maybe.
do indeed.
Does that not depend on what they on who they've had for dinner?
It might a little bit, yes. Okay, so I have to have cunning of 1.
What's an important attribute for a priest?
To be a Ministorum priest, you need to have
Probably willpower, probably one of them, right?
You have to have a willpower of 3.
yes, you have to have a willpower of 3. You need a strength of 1, a toughness of 2,
Those are
suggestions. Sorry, but you do have to have a willpower of 3
and scholar
and the scholar
unlike a
skill
scholar.
at 1 level.
And how much do these points cost in your attributes?
It scales as you go up.
It scales. So 1 point in an attribute costs 0. 2 points in an attribute costs 4 XP. Then an additional 6 to go from 2 to 3. So it's a total of 10 XP to have a stat starting at 3. And then skills, to start with a skill rating of 1, costs 2 XP. And then it goes up 4 XP to the next level, 6 XP to the level after that.
So again, is that 1, 1, 4, and 10 again?
No, for skills, it's 2, 4, and 6, 2, 4, 6. So it's 2, 6, and 12. If you want to start with a skill at 3, it's 12 XP.
Okay.
In tier 1, a 3 and a 3 is quite a potent dice pool. Humans have a maximum of 8 in every attribute, unless they get upgraded.
What are the 3 columns for in skills? Sorry to keep asking silly questions.
That's okay.
One is your base rate,
Base.
advances, and then what it is that last column should have numbers in it because that's your attribute at the top.
Right. So
Yep.
if I'm
So
spending,
if you fill in the first
Yeah,
square,
oh, that's it. Yeah.
yeah, filling in the first square then changes the last number, which is based on your attributes. Remember, you're going to want some talents and powers as well, potentially.
I'm going to go with fashionista.
That's such a Simon skill.
I'm a very fashionable inquisitor in training.
You remain on the cutting edge of Gothic fashion, delighting in any opportunity to make a memorable entrance. When you requisition clothes, blah, 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 you gain bonus dice on social skill tests equal to the rarity of the clothing.
Fair enough. Now, do you get your archetype ability for free or not? You do,
Yes,
because
yeah.
it comes with the XP cost for your archetype.
Yeah.
So, Jim, for instance, as a Minister and Priest,
Yeah.
there is an XP cost of 12 just
Okay.
to be a Minister and Priest.
Okay.
But with that, you get Fiery Invective as your archetypal ability.
And where does that go?
That goes under talents, I assume.
Yeah, there's an
Yeah, there's a
ability right
space in
under talents.
abilities there.
And what is it? It's called what?
It's called Fiery Invective.
Can we not copy and paste into these?
No, I just figured that. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, no.
No, unfortunately not. Fire Invective, you can preach the word of the Imperial Creed as a free action once per combat. You and all allies with the Imperium keyword heal 1d3 plus rank in shock. So it'd be 1d3 plus 1 shock.
It's actually pretty good.
And
I
copy
can't
paste.
go back into it actually. Yeah.
Simon, the XP cost to be an Inquisitorial Acolyte is only 6.
6, yeah.
And you get Inquisitorial Decree as your archetype ability.
Yeah.
Anybody else need to know theirs?
Just give me the description of that again.
Preach word of Imperial Creed. Free action. Once per combat.
Yeah.
You plus Imperium allies. Heal 1d3 plus 1 shock.
Heal 1d3 plus 1.
Yeah.
Cool.
For my quotes, I went for You're gonna was it you're gonna burn for that one.
It's worth pointing out when you're building your characters, everyone, that your initial cost, your XP cost, includes your attribute and your skill increases that are required on your sheet.
Yep.
So just in case people felt that they had to pay more points there.
Oh shit. So like the toughness, willpower of 3 for me and toughness of 2. Is that right?
Yes. So where that's there, that's included as part of your cost of your character. So your
Oh,
XP cost, which is at the top of the thing on attributes and skills, which are your have tos, are part of that cost.
Okay.
Which is why my character cost me 64 points to start with.
Is there a good way of keeping check of the cost anyway on the sheet?
One of the not really on the sheet. No.
Well, the notes
I've got a
page,
calculator.
on the notes page, there's an experience section, but it doesn't actually. It only affects it if you actually click in ranks of advancement. So when you're just building it, it doesn't. So you just got to keep
Okay.
You have the Wrath and Glory core book, Jim.
I do actually, yeah.
Because that's got some example costs for suggested attributes and skills that might help.
Ah, okay. Easier one. Primaris Interceptor, yeah.
Page 92.
So tier 1 human. Oh, that's easy.
And if you take all of the suggested stuff, that gives you 12, 26, 32, 30, 30, 60, 70 points, leaving you with 30 points to spend on whatever you want. So you could then use that to increase attributes, skills, buy new talents.
Cool.
And there's even some suggested talents right there for you.
So
I've just noticed one word under my character that is brilliant. Chainsword.
Fun for all the family.
Not decided on what weapon. I know I'm going to go with the combat shotgun because it's basically like Necromunda, isn't it? You know, that's the kind of thing. So I'm like, you wouldn't walk around with a las pistol or an auto pistol because people just look at you and go, "You're a Juve." You know what I mean?
I
So
love that.
it's like I'm not going to walk around looking like a Juve. I'm at a combat shotgun.
No, but
But then I don't want to walk around with the chainsaw because it's like if you imagine actually
Carrying a
picking
chainsaw around with
if
you.
you actually pick, yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's like you mean you'd just be dragging it behind you, wouldn't you? Yeah.
That's why the stats for the Sisters Repentia are hilarious, because they get one of the big old eviscerator chainswords, the massive two-handed ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they get that and a bikini, basically, don't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, well, you know, my ganger gets a canteen and a bedroll and a knife
Score.
and a stubber. So he's or a hand cannon. He's well prepared. He's ready to rock and roll.
don't worry, I'm going to buy you a holy book. So.
Thank you. I'll use that as armor.
It is indeed armor. Yes.
Armor for
Yes.
the soul.
The word of the Emperor is our shield. Now, Dan, you wanted the Tech Adept, which is actually in one of the different books, isn't it? It's in Forsaken Systems.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been going
Trust
through
Dan
it.
to be difficult.
It's just my nature. Yeah, so I've got to my talents. I'm currently doing binary chatter, and I've added my ability of admin access as well. So
Splendid.
on track.
Remember as well, there are languages that you might want to consider.
There is no other language apart from that of the machine.
I'm assuming
That's
we
going
all
to make
speak at
conversation
least
with the
low
rest of the
Gothic.
party fun.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that my Underhive ganger doesn't speak High Gothic. So I think
That's a
I think
safe
I'll
assumption. I think we can probably say that.
Sticking with the low Gothic.
It's only
We got
two.
High Gothic, we got Cant Mechanicus, which is also what people call Dan's character. Glossia, which is a special Inquisition language. So, Simon, you might want that.
Well, I can speak it anyway. I can speak
Okay.
low. I can speak low Gothic and Glossia. They're the two languages I get.
Cool. And you're probably not any of you speaking Eldari or Orc.
Absolutely not. Do the orcs speak anything other than?
I believe their language is referred to as Geezer, isn't it?
It's probably so stupid like that. Almost done.
Oh, don't forget that augmetics are a thing as well, especially
Yeah.
for Dan M. Going to
And
want
that's,
at
that's
least
the
one.
talent, is it? You've got to take it as a talent.
Yep, you
Yeah.
take it as a talent.
Which I'm going to do, but I was going to save it to last because I imagine there's some to choose from.
Yeah. Your bolt gun speaks Orcish. Nice.
Daka.
You have to use XP. You have to use XP to get augmentics rather than taking it as gear.
You can do both.
It's a
At the
kind of
beginning-
combination.
Yeah.
Like certain advancements will give you augmetics.
There are certain life path changes that can happen to you as well, where you come back with augmetics.
Right.
Like one of the level up paths is you died, but you got better. And you go up to the next tier with like 2 new augmetics. And everybody going, oh, I thought you were dead.
Can I have a flak cloak? Can I have a flak coat instead of flak armor? Because it looks cooler.
You want like a trench coat?
Basically, it's a trench coat,
Yeah, got
but
it.
it's a flak.
Right.
See?
Let's roll my D3s for my backgrounds.
Wow. Your war gear is tasty. Any 2 Imperium weapons with a value of 5 or less.
Yeah. And I can have uncommon. Don't just have to be
That's
common.
a symbol of authority.
And someone point me in the direction of list of augments in the rulebook, please.
Yeah,
Augmetics in the main book.
I think they stored on
242.
page. Yep.
Sorry?
242.
242. Thank you.
So arm, eye, legs, respirator, viscera. And then you got the fancy bits after that.
It says you can spend XP on wealth. So spend 1 XP to go up by 1 wealth.
Let me have a look at wealth.
So
Do
spend
you automatically start with your war gear?
Yes, you do. No, you don't. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
You do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, because the war gear, some of it has options in.
Yeah.
So Simon, wealth.
So I want to go wealth 3, which is 2 XP.
Each point of wealth could be a literal cache of cash. Wah, could be fine art, Xenos artifact. Your starting wealth is equal to your tier, may be modified by abilities or talents. You can spend XP to buy more. Each extra point of wealth costs 1 XP, and you can buy up to 4 wealth. Yep. So you can buy up to wealth 4. So that's up to 3 XP.
I've got 2 XP, so I'm going to get it up to 3.
Okay.
And then that means I can get some extra cool stuff.
That explains your fashionista as well.
Yeah.
Holy Hannah, there's a lot of augments to choose from, and they're all cool.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of augments. This is true.
Can you recommend one?
What do you want it to be?
Oh, that's it.
I mean, that's the issue, isn't it?
What's your limit on rarity?
I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's true.
actually. So I've got to find the talent.
So you get an augmetic enhancement. It doesn't say anything. It says any augmetic enhancement.
That's the talent.
Plus XP equal to the value of the augmetic you choose. Each time you take this talent, you may select 2 augmetics of rare or lower rarity or a single very rare
But he
augmetic.
gets 1 for free.
Okay.
So how many do I get?
Under War Gear, you get any augmetic enhancement, just 1 for free. And then if you take the talent augmetic, you get another 1.
So that's 2 in total.
2 in total.
If
That's where it changes the rarity. You're right. Talents. Augmetic. 20.
I mean, the classic
XP
is
equal to the value.
the classic
You
is
select
always
2 of
mechanic,
rare
right?
or lower, or a single very rare. So you can have 2 augmetics or 1 very rare augmetic. So you get 1 for free, and then you can either have 2 rare ones or 1 very rare one.
It's very rare, unique.
Very rare means better. It doesn't
I was just
mean...
looking at the rarity.
No, there's a rarity very rare.
Oh,
like
very rare.
augmetic
Yeah,
viscera
sorry, I just saw
is
it.
very
Yeah.
rare.
Blimey.
What's a Rosarius?
It gives you an invulnerable save. Well, actually, I don't know what it does in this. In normal terms, it gives you an invulnerable save. You might need to check it.
So that go under gear, would it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's gear.
How do you spell it, Jim? And I'll find it for you.
ROS.
Yeah.
ARRUS. DAWSON.
Rosarus. It is a power field, armor value rating 4. So you get, I think you get a 4 up in the stats. If you go into armor, because it's classed as an armor.
But it looks like a rosary. So it's like a
Yeah.
little rosary style handheld item that gives you a force field, basically.
Cool.
Dan, what sort of tech do you see yourself doing?
Computers and servitors and
Because
constructs.
you probably want a Cortex implant then, which is very rare. So that will either use up your free one or your
Plus
augmetic talent.
Oh, blimey.
Because it makes you smarter. An auger array
Yeah, that's only rare, isn't it?
is only rare, so you could get one of those.
Which gives you an Auspex or a Diagnoster. What does an Auspex or a Diagnoster do?
The scanners, basically. You could take both. Utility mechadendrite. They're very rare.
So an Auspex gives you a readout of motion, emissions, and other life signs within 50 meters, and you can activate it as a combat action. Diagnostica is a sensitive medical cognitor, monitors patient's health, +1 die to medical tests.
We've
You
got
could
a sister
go-
of that.
You could go medical as well, Dan, because there's
I have taken some points in it, but
There's
surely with a
Medicaid
sister of battle will be fine
mechadendrites.
for healing. I thought that's what they did, right?
No,
not this one.
not this sister battle. I'm not a hospitaler. Get out.
Okay, Dan, a Medicaid mechadendrite functions as a medikit and a diagnoster,
Mega.
gives you a bonus to medicate, and can be
Mechadendrite.
used to inject toxins, sedatives, and stimulants as a simple action. And you can use it in combat. Sedate you.
Wrap my tentacles around you if you're dead.
So you could arguably have a Medicaid mechadendrite, an auger array for the Auspex, and another rare thing.
Sorry, so I thought it was one very rare.
You get one for free, regardless. So you could use the very rare on your freebie.
Okay, so could I take a Mechadendrite Medi McKendricks and a cortex implant?
Yes, absolutely.
Because the cortex implant is very rare as well. So
Yeah.
would that take up the 2?
That takes up your slots then, yeah.
All right, cool. Right, I'll take a look at that.
That's cool because I do like mechadendrites. It's the extra limb mounted on your spine.
Switch my skills around a bit.
Gotta say, I am rather fond of a mechadendrite.
Hey, Dan, you were looking at backgrounds, right? Have you found any way to add that to the character sheet?
You have to punch it in so a lot of them give you like a bonus to a certain thing. So you just have to punch it in and then put it in notes that you've got that background.
Yep.
There's nowhere to put it in otherwise.
I think the Foundry module is still quite new, but it will probably get fancier as time goes by, and we'll try and upgrade.
I've got 10 points of experience still to spend.
Get a talent for that.
All my talent. Well, yeah. I was looking at suggested talents, which all cost 20.
You don't have to have just the suggested ones. There are some.
There's
people
10 in
ones.
the Glory redacted records. There's ones for 10, aren't there?
What's that?
There's a couple on there.
A lot of them do seem to be 20 or 30, don't they?
There is a couple for,
Yeah.
there's one for 10 called Arsonist, requirements none. It's for people who like to start people on fire.
I mean, that's very priestly.
That's what I thought.
And quite Jim.
What's that?
Also, it's called Arsonist. It's in the redacted records. The effects: you keep starting fires, they burn long into the night. When you inflict the on fire condition, your victims suffer an additional plus rank mortal wounds at the start of each of your turns. The DN for the athletics test for your victims to remove the condition is also increased by plus ranks. So when you set somebody on fire, they stay on fire.
I need a flame gun then, don't I, really?
Yeah, you kind of need a flamer.
I would probably let you swap your what'd you get? You get a melted.
I get a last pistol.
You get a las pistol, so I'd let you swap that for like a flamer pistol instead.
Okay.
Glorious hand flamer.
Yeah, that's the one.
Nice.
Hand flame, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's got stats. I'm in war gear now, so if people need help, just give us a shout.
Simon, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I was just trying to work out what I can do with my wealth. So basically, I've done my stats. So I've got willpower 3, intelligence 4, fellowship 3, because I figured that's kind of like, you know, the talking people, I'm smarter than you kind of stuff. I've sorted out some basic skills. I figured I'd just go like ones with most of it, because you're not really going to be that good at anything, you know, as an acolyte.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was looking at talents, and I thought, I'm like brand new. I'm not going to really be very talented at anything.
Okay.
But I figured I'd go with so the background would be I was already here. So when he turned up, or when he gets to this area, I'm
So
like
you're like an
the,
uphiver.
Yeah, pretty much.
A wealthy uphiver who was already in place, and you've ended up being recruited.
Well, perhaps I was a wealthy-ish uphiver, you know, like this, like sixth son of the sixth son kind of thing. And maybe I was in the underhive when I shouldn't have been, and perhaps got, you know. So the idea is I'm here, so it's not as if he's brought me with him.
Yeah, that's one of the options I was going to give to everybody once you've got your characters sorted out, whether you want to be local hire, like so Aaron's also probably going to be local hire.
Yeah.
Or whether you're going to have come from outside of the Gilead sector.
Yeah. No. So I've gone with the like uncovered a plot without being discovered, which basically I was like, actually, I've dobbed somebody in to save my own neck. That's cool. That's kind of what I was.
That's what the Imperium's like.
Yeah, that's what the Imperium's like. But now I'm kind of like, so the idea is that the characters, because he's so low down in the family, he'll never progress in the family. But
he can progress in the
He's got
Inquisition.
ambition. He wants to be, he wants to like, throw his entire family under the bus, prove they're all heretics, because they never gave him any money.
Yeah.
Something, only the clothes he's wearing. So
Completely understandable.
The extensive and expensive wardrobe of clothes that he's wearing.
No, he's only got one. No, that's it. No, there's no extending. He's got,
one flash outfit.
He has to go down the laundrette every night when everyone's asleep.
Trying to wonder what an Adeptus Mechanicus laundrette would look like.
Lots
An
of red
interesting
robes.
servitor, yeah. Commune with the machine spirit of the washing machine.
A holy washing machine.
The holy washing machine.
Holy washing machine, yeah.
You must place coins within the slot, speaking the canticle of activation.
So it's just really warm.
So my Underhive teenager, member of the Twists Crows, Fagin Twist actually takes pretty good care of these kids because he brings them in as orphans, he feeds them, he keeps them clean, he keeps them sharp, he trains them because he knows when they become adults, he's going to place them in other positions in the Underhive, either in other gangs or other areas. But they're all going to remember that Fagin was the one that saved their lives. So they're going to owe this mutant. So he's actually in pretty good shape, but he's young. He's a kid. He doesn't have a lot of talents, a lot of skills, but his strength is 2, toughness 4, agility 2, initiative 3, willpower 4, intellect 2, fellowship 3, with 1 point in awareness, 3 in cunning, because he gets bonus 1 in cunning. So I just put it there so I can keep track of it. 1 in insight, 1 in stealth, 2 in survival, and 1 in weapon skills.
Holy cow. Survival dice pool of 6.
Well, and that's because the talent I took is Born Survivor from the Redacted Records. That allows me to use survival as a heal check on myself instead of Medicaid to heal my own shock and wounds without having the +1 to the difficulty number for working on yourself.
Oh, cool.
So he's a survivalist. He's a scrounger. He's a tagger, and he's all about making it out of the hive alive. And he thinks that this Inquisitor may be the only way he's actually ever going to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, so you'll have been brought on as a local guide for the hive because going into the Underhive, not everybody knows their way around, and specifically off-worlders coming to the hive for the first time. Every level of a hive counts as a city of it in its own right, doesn't it? Really, and they have hundreds of levels. Which
is why I built cunning really high and survival really high, because those are the two. That's what the Underhivers survive on. And with his special talent, he always gets a +1 to his cunning tests, and once per session, he can make a cunning test, and if he succeeds, he can acquire an item that he needs without paying for it, basically.
I've gone for flagellant as my talent. So obviously with the flame thing, I'm going to have to set fire to myself every morning.
Well, of course. I mean, that goes.
You don't have to set fire to yourself, but you could heat like a knife blade and just baconize your skin every once in a while.
Yeah.
Was that flagellant or flagellants?
Both.
Because if you set fire to yourself,
I'm going to set fire to my own farts. Yeah.
Why does it smell of burnt hair in here? Don't ask. He'll show you.
I'm going to try by the end of session 2 to get everybody taking part with me in the morning, first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, morning prayers, then Puritanism by fire.
Healthy.
We'll see. We'll see.
What does flagellant get you in terms of?
It gets me
because it's a talent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on.
Does it not make you tougher if you're damaged or something?
No, it's on 2 of the. So it gives me, I've got to spend 20 minutes in prayer and inflict wounds to myself equal to my tier through self-flagellation. So I have to inflict wounds, which is good. You may not roll determination against these wounds or allow them to be healed by any method other than through respite. As long as you are wounded in this way, you gain plus rank bonus dice to your determination and conviction rolls.
Oh, nice.
And if I chose the talent frenzy, it does open a lot of other gates. But if I fail to flagellate myself, I'm overcome with shame and take +2 DN penalties all tests until I flagellate myself. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that could work. Definitely very Ministorum, isn't it?
And Sakar Rez does have a hand cannon, but he's got 0 ballistic skills and only a 2 in agility. So don't get in front of him.
The end with the hole goes towards the other guy.
Probably was raised to be a talker, not a fighter. So
how's everybody else doing character-wise?
I'm just doing the last bits of war gear.
Splendid. Ooh, Sororitas power armor. Now, Dan, are you going to be local talent, or are you thinking about being from outside of the sector as well? Because there is a Sisters chapter based in the Gilead sector. There's something or other shield.
What? Yeah, I'll play one of them. What's the name? I got added to my keywords.
There's a shield thing in it. Let me see if I can find it. As soon as I can find. That's the Canoness. Order of the Sanctified Shield.
Order of the Sanctified Shield. Cool.
Is the local Sororitas branch.
I shall be a Sister Novitiate of the Order of the Sanctified Shield. Let me just add that to my keyword.
That's in Forsaken Systems. They're based on the planet of Enoch. Their current figurehead is Canoness Jean Grace Demissa. Their important writings include the Rule of the Order of the Sanctified Shield, Beatitudes of Caroline, the sayings of a martyred sister who eradicated a Nurgle infestation, Admonitions of St. Hallas, Bastions of Faith.
Does it say which major order they descend from?
Just looking right now, their icon is a skull with fleur-de-lis on forehead or shield, surrounded by flames. A couple of heroes. It doesn't say who they come from.
That's right, it's not the end of the world.
Not yet, anyway. They're an order militant, but you know that. No, it doesn't say which of the main sisterhoods they're an offspring of.
That's fine. likely they're probably. What side of the Cicatrus Maledictum are we on?
You're in the Gilead system, which is,
Terra side or Bow side?
I think it's inside.
Oh, is it?
actually.
Oh, is it one of the planets that is between in the little channel that everyone can travel down?
No, it's not. It's in this little cul-de-sac on its own, surrounded by warp storms,
Oh, lovely.
is the Gilead sector.
Oh, wait, it probably doesn't matter what major sister order I'm from. Oh, oops. Sitting there going, why is it not adding this keyword? And what I didn't realize is I needed to scroll down and it added it 4 times.
Forward region near the border of Segmentum Solar and Segmentum Obscurus. Number of habitable planets.
So that's
Do.
probably the Order of Martyred Lady or Ardent Shroud. We'll say Martyred Lady.
Yeah, basically the Great Rift formed around what looked to be a stable corridor, but turned out to be a fake out. Only one rogue trader has made it through the Great Rift. So they're a little trapped cul-de-sac in a big cloud of warp storms.
Lovely.
But the system has several worlds on it. There's a Forge world, a Death world, an Agri world, a Shrine world.
I'm just getting even
2
more
hive
frothy by the
worlds.
second listening to all this.
Yeah.
Go. That is my war gear. That is my talents. Didn't really have any points for talents. But then that's it.
They're quite hardliners by the looks of things. You've got protect shrines and guard refugees, but then you've also got be watchful of the ecclesiarchy so that apostasy never befalls us again. Burn the psyker, trust not the alien, smite the demon.
We do like to do a lot of that. That just sounds like standard Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, to be fair. Now, I understand, Dan, that you are current UK #1 Sisters player.
I am no longer. I've missed a couple of weeks of tournaments, and I have now been overtaken. But I was UK #1 Sisters player for at least a short period of time.
See what I mean about knowing more about it than me? I played one game of 40k in 1994.
Well, my hope is to finish the ITC season as the UK #1. So we shall see how the rest of the season goes for me. It's been a good
Make
start.
sure you pray to the Emperor, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
Always. And the Emperor guides my dice. He must be looking away quite often.
Warp storms.
Warp storms, that's what it is, yeah. Around my table when I'm trying to roll dice. And also, Aaron, in effects, in a passive effects, you can add those archetype things. I just found it.
Oh, nice, thanks.
So when you go into passive effects and you add another one, it gives you the labels. You can write out what the name is. Yeah. And then you go to change, and then if you scroll down, you'll see defense, resilience. You'll see all basically everything you have access to.
Beautiful.
And it gives you. That's where you put your +1s.
That is awesome. Thank you.
No worries. I found it by accident.
Right. So tell us a bit about Sister Evelyn then.
Sister Evelyn is a novitiate, so she's just basically being put into the field. She has some fairly hefty stats because that's what she has to start with. That's why I pay 64 points for my character straight off the bat. So she's got strength 3, which obviously goes to strength 5 because she's wearing powered armor, and it's powered 2. She's toughness 4, which I think takes my overall resilience to resilience 9. No, resilience 10, sorry. So
it's outrageous for a tier 1 character.
Well, to be fair, even the Hospitaller starts with power armor. So yeah. It's just what we get. Then agility is free, initiative's free, willpower's free because I had to have 3 in all of them. My intellect 2 and fellowship 2, I don't really have any points to do anything else. So I have 1 talent and that's an act of faith. And that's divine guidance. So I can spend a faith point, and I grant all not all. I select one Imperium character within 15 meters, and they get +1 to it gains a double rank bonus to their ballistic skill. So at the moment we're rank 1, so they would get +2 to their ballistic skill for a short period of time.
That's
And
handy.
then my
Double Aaron's.
Yes. So yeah, he
That's
might actually be able
true.
to hit something.
Exactly.
And then my general thing is Purity of Faith. So me and any allies within 15 meters of me, this is a passive ability, gain double my rank bonus to corruption tests. You also gain double rank bonus to any test to resist the effects of psychic powers. So as long as people within 15 meters of me, they get that bonus. But that's pretty much it. After my 64 points, I didn't have a lot left to spend, so I spent 10 points just upping my toughness from 3 to 4, and then took an act of faith for 20 points. So that's me pretty much done at that point in time.
Cool.
But she leans into her gear. Obviously, her gear, I haven't given her full gear for her tier 2, so I've reduced her gear to only spending 15 requisition points, which is what you can spend at tier 1.
Yeah.
So she only has a bolt gun and a knife. And obviously a Sororitas power armor for her 15 points.
Which is fair.
So that's it. That's her. She doesn't have any other gear, no real major other upgrades. That's it. So yeah, she's looking pretty good though. I imagine she'll. Oh, she's a
very chilled out, laid back.
No, absolutely not. Quite the opposite. Very, very faithful. Very, very into the Imperial dogma. Of course, she is, after all, a sister of battle, and she does not take kindly to slips of faith.
She's got the classic white hair and a bob.
No, she. So the Order of Sanctified, they don't have the classic white hair. That is the Armated Lady. She has got a almost red-like hair, so it's like a deep red mahogany color hair.
I think Sanctified Shield have a slightly bluish element to their armor. I think it's blue and white. So the armor is blue with white overrobes.
Lovely. Then yes, and she has like a red mahogany hair. So
cool.
She's good to go. And she her origin. So her origin is, what was it? I rolled up for. I've got to go find it now. Sorry, bear with me.
Of course, yeah. Origins.
Origins.
So slow.
So she has a holy inspiration, which gives her +1 to resolve, +1 to resolve. So she's followed in the footsteps of an imperial saint and pilgrimage to go things. She is defender of Enoch, one of Enoch's many prized holy sites. She defended it, so she's got +1 to influence. And then she's got shine the light. When the dark closes in, she intends to push back, and she has +1 influence. There you go.
Okie dokie. Where's the thing for origin? I can't find it.
It's in your back there. So when you go, when you go up at factions before archetypes, it's there. You go through and it'll give you your Adeptosaurus archetype, and then it gives you origin D3, accomplishment D3, and goal D3.
Starts around page 51.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
52.
Yeah. So she's got those 3 for her. Yeah, origin, accomplishment, and goals.
Cool.
And that's Sister Evelyn. And you will see as she progresses, she is not angry, but she just doesn't like heretics and thinks everybody's a heretic.
Aaron, what did you get for your backgrounds?
I got downtrodden, which is every memory you have is painful for you. Life in the Imperium means violence, toxic conditions, and slavery. You've developed a strong willpower to combat this, +1 determination. I got pit champion, which is kind of random, but it says through wit or brawn, you proved yourself a most proficient fighter in the underground. Do
you want to swap that for the gang wrangler one?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Because it does make more sense for the character.
I think it makes a lot more sense. So gang wrangler is united squabbling gangs, which is what I said. They were all about information brokering between gangs, +1 influence. And then the last one, I got for my goal, I got hive topper. You started at the bottom and you'll make it to the top, whatever it takes. You're going to find the good life and maybe even be a hero while you're at it, +1 determination.
Cool.
So that makes sense too, because that's all. He's all about getting the hell out of the hive. So
Seems fair. Simon, do you want to roll yours? Or have you
I've-
already done so?
No, I've done mine. Let me just find a bit. Yeah, so Origin was chosen, employed for content resources. So I read that as I'm just local.
Yeah, you're
basically.
a useful person who happens to be in the right
So
place
I
at the
did,
right time. Yeah.
unseen for the plot without being discovered, and goal, which was for the Ordo, which I interpreted as for me, and me progressing in the Ordo.
Cool. Not got Astra Militarum. Adeptus Ministorum. Jim, are you in a place where you
Yeah.
have
So-
yours?
I got guided by visions. You are guided by waking dreams of glorious figures of the creed, preachers, saints, and the God Emperor himself. You rely on these questionably accurate visions. And I got Breaker of Heretics. You personally destroyed a heretical movement. The sight of such blasphemy was enough to twist your stomach, but your righteous anger served you well. And last but not least, I've got Aspiration, the lofty spire of ecclesiarchy. Advancement is yours to climb. Honor and influence are your desire through whatever means necessary.
So you've had 2 influence boosts.
Can I do that, or is that?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yep.
It's just dovetailing. Dan, what about you? P M.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it yet. That's okay. Let's find Adeptus Mechanicus.
So if I was looking at the Tech Adept template in the book, would that be on there?
It's not on there, but it applies to all Mechanicus archetypes,
Okay.
these backgrounds.
On page 57.
57, yeah, you've got 3D3 rolls.
I mean, if you see one that features.
Or yeah, if you see one that you particularly like for your character, you can just pick it.
So what page?
Page 57 of the core rulebook.
I'm on my way.
So you've got Forge Born. You were born in the cult Mechanicus, raised by steel and choir. Voidborn, you spent your early life aboard an orbital station. Or Promethean proselytism, you converted to the cult Mechanicus and left your former life behind.
You can see there was a thing on the right hand side that gave you, it said influence and determination. and
Yeah,
all
that's
that
a
thing.
+1 to various bits.
All right, I didn't even see that.
So
if you go to effects on the character sheet and there's passive, you can add them in there, and then it lets you label them and change and so on and so forth.
So your chosen gives you +1 wealth again, Simon.
Yeah.
Unseen gets you +1 determination, and for the Ordo gets you +1 conviction.
We have an objective as well.
You can do that. Can be mission specific, so you can have like my objective for this game chunk is to do this thing. But that'd be like a personal objective. You can just have a separate one. So if you want to roll an objective, you're absolutely welcome to.
Utilize blind faith to achieve your goals.
Fill your lungs with a bolstering hymn in a time of stress. Just got this mental image of like Jim charging through the underhive, belting out Jerusalem.
Right. Okay. So that goes. Determination. My base is 4. 4. All right. Okay.
Right, how we doing, gang? Everybody ready?
Where do you add these backgrounds?
Under
Effects.
Effects.
on the effects tab, you can add passive effects plus,
Ah, I see. Okay.
and then you put in
Rules. Okay. Determination. On fire. 1.
That's where you can put in the things. There's also a thing on the notes page where you can actually put in what it's called if you want to put it in 2 places. But
Where is determination on that list?
under
at the very
other.
bottom,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I've got it.
scroll down, you'll find it. The only one that doesn't have an attribute is influence, and I can't find anywhere to put it.
And that's the one I've got +2 in.
That's really good.
The one thing to note about your objective is if you use it during your session, you get +1 wrath point. So, I mean, keeping
Not to
track
be
of what your
sniffed at, because
objective.
wrath points let you re-roll fails on your dice. So you've got 2 meta currencies. You've got wrath and you've got glory. Oh my god, like the name of the game.
The modified, do you have to put +1 or just 1?
Just one.
Just one.
So wrath points let you re-roll fail dice. Glory you can use to re-roll the whole thing, or you can claim an automatic success, can't you?
I don't think so.
I know that one of them lets you turn something into something.
Glory, I think, lets you turn a success into an icon.
That's right.
And icons get you extra glory. No, I think it lets you turn a fail into a success.
So for wrath points, you can spend to re-roll a failure or make a narrative declaration to change something in the scene. Or as an action, you can spend a wrath point to recover shock equal to your rank plus your tier. Glory you can use to increase your dice pool, increase damage, increase the severity of a critical hit, or seize the initiative. And then you can shift dice to gain information, improve quality, or improve speed, or shift for extra damage. Or you can shift for a point of glory into the glory pool. And our glory pool maximum would be 7 because it's number of characters plus 2.
Yeah.
And everybody starts with 2 wrath points at the
Yep.
beginning. And
They're already showing on your character sheet, so there is at least that.
I get a symbol of my office, but I can't
Yes.
see what that might be. I couldn't see anywhere in War Gear or in.
Well, it's a symbol, so it's not going to be a very specific thing. It's going to be like a big metal eye.
What does influence fall under? Is it fellowship?
no,
No.
influence is a different. It's where is it? I saw it just a second
It's
ago.
a special thing. Like when you enter
Yeah.
into like chattiness with somebody, the
Yeah.
more
Oh.
influence you got, the more likely you are to like be able to convince them of something. But there
The
isn't a
higher
stat for
influence
it.
characters are more likely to get their way with people.
Right.
Because I was looking for that when I was trying to add a background and take.
It's on the gear page at the top. You could just change it. You don't have to.
So when you
Ah,
try
there it
and
is.
requisition something,
Aha.
it says you use your
Influence or wealth.
Influence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you can spend wealth to gain
it's-
influence.
but it's-
Yeah,
But
Simon,
when
you're
you-
like this one. You can
but
spend
when you-
wealth to increase the icons on your result through
But if you like-
bribing people.
Yeah, but if you actually read through it, if you read the example, it uses the fellowship as the basic stat in the example,
Yeah,
because it says he's got a fellowship of 6, so he rolls 6 dice.
Yeah, it's your fellowship plus whatever influence bonuses you get.
Whatever
Yeah.
influence bonuses, yeah.
My character has influence 4.
because you're ordering people to do stuff.
I have wealth.
Kind of thing does-
I don't need your influence.
What kind of thing does determination do?
So resistance.
Yeah. You can use-
Determination is I'm going to like make you do evil things with the power of my mind magic. And you're like, no, I resist your sexy Slaneshi magic evil.
Oh, okay then.
Did you say you have a symbol of
Do I
authority,
have to resist?
Simon?
Yeah, I have a symbol of authority. Yeah.
Okay, so a badge, ring, seal, rosette, amulet, or otherwise to indicate the bearer should be taken seriously. +1 die to leadership, will, and intimidation will tests.
Big metal eye. It's the
So
letter
actually,
I.
for
I got
determination,
It's on
when you
page
roll-
240 if you want to find it.
Yeah, cool.
you roll determination to shift wounds to shock instead of having wounds. So if you,
don't
get
want
wounded,
wounds are bad. Shock goes away. Wounds don't.
Yeah, but if you run out of shock, your morale is broken, if I remember rightly.
yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to be careful of that as well. So that person, somebody in the group had a healing D3 to shock. That will come in handy at points. Okay, I think I'm all done. I think I've got everything in my character sheet now.
Yeah, conviction is to resist corruption.
Yeah,
Resolve is to resist fear. And determination is
I got determination and conviction the wrong way round.
Can I have a free uplifting primer? As I actually do own a GW uplifting primer.
That kind of paint.
No. It's a book. It's a little red book. It's called the GW primer, and I have one, which means I should get one free.
That sounds like a Simon thing.
Yeah, it is.
That's like Trade Farmer, isn't it?
Okay, so if I dig it out for next week,
What is an uplifting primer?
it just
What
gives
is it?
him +1 to scholar test rolls.
Well, that doesn't sound awful. If you've got it with you,
next week,
next week you can use it. Yeah,
I'm gonna
you can
find
only
it.
have it when you got it with you.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. I'm all done.
You're all
My
done?
character-
Yep.
Yeah, character's all done.
Yeah.
All
Good to
done.
go.
Okay. Anybody else still going?
I'm just.
Dan
adding my
M's like,
symbol-
Who changed my quote?
don't know, mate. It's only you that's got the ability to do that.
Hmm.
Did you change it from beep, boop, beep?
Someone did. It wasn't me.
What is everybody's quotes? What we all going with?
Why don't we go through your characters and do like a proper, this is my character, not a numbers thing, but this is what you can tell about them, because you're going to be working together. You'll have been thrust together for a short while, so you might know a little bit about each other. So what do they look like? How do they behave? You know, basic introductory stuff to your characters. So we do that if everybody's good to go with them, and then we'll do a quick introduction to the setting, and then we'll wrap it up for this evening. And then I can go away and plan horrible things to do to you based on your characters for next time we run this, which is 2 weeks' time.
That's fair.
So let's start with Julius Battle.
So Julius Battle, basically, so he's an uphiver, which is basically where he comes at. He's so I put insight. So he's got good insight, good fellowship. He's got good intelligence, good investigation. So that's his thing.
Smart, likable investigator.
Well, yeah, but he's also got a position of authority, and he's meant to be like, you know, keeping other people in check. But that is not his thing. So although he may have a big badge, he basically it will just be like, you're going to hit him for that? You know what I mean? He can't say that. You need to kill him now. I don't think he's really going to be the leadery type. But he's like, I want to progress. I've got ambition, and I want cool stuff.
So you're kind of that sleazy guy in the office who's like,
No, I
hey,
think he's
promotion.
genuinely. I think he's genuinely interested in. He's genuinely interested in finding the truth, and you know, that kind of thing. But more completely disinterested in everything else. But he looks cool.
So
Which is
super
really the
fashionable.
most important factor in all of
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Basically,
At the
if
opposite end of the hive,
if you
then.
don't think I'm the Fonz, then you haven't got it.
That's where I was
I did.
going.
I did immediately think of you smacking
Yeah.
the side of a jukebox, and
Hey,
Well, if he did that, then clearly he spoke the correct litanies to the machine spirit.
Naturally. Right, opposite end of the hive, then, coming up from the streets. Sakari Rez.
Hey,
Sakari Rez. Sakari Rez is he's a teenager. He's in pretty good shape. Like I said, though, for most underhivers, his skin is mostly clean. His teeth are straight, mostly white. His head's shaved, but you can tell the stubble's black if you ever let it grow out. But you don't, because you don't want sump leeches or lice getting in your hair.
Or people getting hold of it.
Or that. He's got dirty blue eyes. He's a little under average height, probably stands around 5'6", 5'7", somewhere between 14 and 18. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. His earliest memories were being sold by his parents to the Renders Guild. And he worked one shift helping to disassemble corpses and grind them down into corpse starch when he fled. Managed to stay away from the enforcers who were coming to get him back, went down Hive, where he was picked up by a supposedly centuries-old mutant named Fagin Twist and taken into his child gang, where he learned how to survive and thrive as a scrounger and a tagger and an information broker in the Underhive.
Probably not mentioning the whole mutant angle.
No, well, down that deep in the Underhive, there's a lot of mutants, and for the most part, as long as you don't go up Hive, it's not that big of a deal unless they go crazy. But yeah, the whole purpose of Fagin Twist's life is to remain in the shadows and keep people beholden to him as he raises these kids and puts them into prosperous positions in the Underhive. Prosperous being a relative term for where we're located, but he had always envisioned himself getting an adjurator's warrant and hunting bounties in the Underhive. But then he got picked up by this Inquisitor, and only now is he beginning to think that probably Fagin put a little whisper in that Inquisitor's ear that this kid may have something to offer. His only goal really is to get out of the Underhive, and the higher he can climb, the better. And if he ever actually sees stars, he'll think he's probably found heaven. And his quote is, "It's better to fade away than to be burned down. So be fleet of foot, know the shadows, and stay out of harm's way when possible." At least so far.
So that's the local talent, the local talent, the two people from the current hive that we're in. Jim, what about you? Where are you from? What you like?
So I've just spent most of my time in the church, in the cult itself.
So are you an in-system Gilead Enochian minister and priest, or have you come from outside of the Gilead system?
I've been brought in with the Inquisitor himself. He's chosen me and brought me in.
Yeah.
Whether it was because I was the only priest left to choose, or that's another thing. So yeah, quite an awkward person to view, really. A lot of burnt skin. He looks like he's been in quite a bad fire. Half of his hair doesn't exist because of burn scars on his head, and the other half of his hair is quite shaggy black hair. He's got green eyes. He stands about 6'2". He is quite quiet until you get him on the subject of the Emperor and how he is God. The Emperor, not Majestus, that is. And yeah, he just wants to spread the word and spread some fire as well. And his quote is purity by fire, or purity in fire, and a new word, purifier. But yes.
I do believe that's a unit for the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Simon, does that mean that your character's 6'3"?
Actually, no. No, my character is not 6'3". He would not stand out like that.
Sorry, Jim. Simon has a tendency to always play the tallest character.
Yeah, always
goes all the way back to our first Flint and Steel game, where regardless of how tall everybody else was, Simon was taller.
Yeah, and then when I was definitely shorter, I wore a tall hat.
Excellent.
All right, Dan, tell us about Beep Boop.
Greetings and salutations. So I am playing Octavian C37, a tech adept of the most holiest of the Omnissiah's order, the Adaptus Mechanicus. His travels in the search of new or in this case, old tech, has set him far and wide. He though has a sort of natural skill with constructs and mechanics. His passion is the mechanics of the biology of people and how they work and how that would link into like cybernetic adaptations and stuff. So yes, that has brought him here to this system, and now he's kind of working with the Inquisition to help, but also to kind of help himself as well.
Cool. Last but not least, Sister Evelyn of the Sanctified Shield.
Yes, so Sister Evelyn has only ever known the Adeptus Sororitas and the Holy Chapel on the planet. Her family died in probably one of the many, many gruesome ways that you can die in the Imperium. And she was found amongst the ruins, but devoid of corruption. Where corruption was everywhere, she seemed devoid of the corruption. So the Sisters of Battle, who happened to be purging the unclean in the area, took her in and took her back to the chapel, where she has spent her entire life learning to be a Sister of Battle. It's all there is to her. She doesn't know anything else, and she follows it with a rigid dogma. So anyone steps out of line, she's very quick to put them back in line, not afraid to put a swift bolt shell into someone. So she's very much what you expect of a Sister of Battle. She's been fairly well brainwashed and propaganda and all that malarkey, and she truly believes in the God Emperor, and her one true goal is to one day set foot on the Sanctus Prioris on Holy Terror itself. But to do that, she must prove herself first as a novitiate. So that's where she comes in. She's probably been called up as the Inquisitor's got into the sector, and he's requested support from the local Adeptus Sororitas, and this is her first mission. So she's going to be a bit green. She's not going to be particularly strategic in intellect in that she's going to be leading the way, but she's also going to rely on the God Emperor to protect her, and she's probably not going to be afraid to stride into some fairly dangerous situations.
All beans. Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about where we're starting then. So Gilead Primus is the center of the Gilead system, removed from the Emperor's light by the warp storms raging around it. Vast hive cities rise from the blasted deserts of the planetary surface, dotted with the skeletal remains of ancient terror beasts. Hive Amarthia is merely one hive among many, but it is here that the aged Inquisitor Galen Troyle of the Ordo Hereticus has tracked down rumors of an ancient text, the Bellerophon Index. Now, this text is believed to contain lost secrets of biological sciences, highly sought after by forces both friendly and inimical to the Imperium. It's said to hold vast knowledge about everything from genetics to ecological terraformation, and it would be of incalculable value to whoever could find it. Whoever does hold the book holds the power to reshape worlds and individuals on a micro and macro scale. Now, unfortunately...
Biology, you say?
Indeed. Unfortunately, he's very, very old. Inquisitor Troyle is well into his second century, and it's really starting to show. He's probably about 40% machine, just to keep him going. Very ancient, respected, but respected in the, yes, Grandad, let's get you back to your room kind of way. So he's not respected as much by other Inquisitors who are younger and more full of zeal than he. He has a bodyguard who protects him, Sergeant Dursek Ervel, Tactical Space Marine of the Carcharodon chapter, the Space Sharks, bound to him by some kind of promise, duty, honor in some way. He stands behind and beside 8 feet of unflinching muscle and power, served by Sister Keris, a Sister Dialogus of the Order of the Sanctified Shield, and technically your line manager, Dan. She is there as a data analyst and interpreter of the faith. Also on his team is Sonaf van der Boo, an Adeptus Mechanicus tech priest, who has underneath him a Lex Mechanicus called Nexian Iota 2, below whom sits your character, Dan. And there is an Inquisition interrogator, Jock Valdaniak, who kind of sits above Julius and Majestus in terms of Inquisition rank. And so that's the team that you're working under rather than with. You're the green meat, the lowest end of the spectrum, still raised above most of the rest of the hive through dint of being a part of the Inquisition mission here. And your job is going to be going to check out underhive promising threads, suggestions, ideas using your guide Sakari Rez and your local Julius Battle to help you get into places where the Inquisition might otherwise be turned away. Now, the underhive is controlled and is a melting point of gangs and rivals, all fighting over resources from reactor space to corpse starch harvesting plants. There are a number of gangs down there, but allegedly an auction has come up somewhere in the underhive for one of the pages of this book, which suggests that the book itself may be on world, even in hive. If one page is for sale, perhaps others are too. So you are being dispatched into level 317 of Hive Mafia to go and find, if you can, some truth to the rumors of this alleged auction of one page from the Bellerophon index. And that's where we're going to start next time we play, which will be 2 weeks hence. Very short session today, just to get through the characters, get an idea for people. Now I can go away and start poking at those characters, come up with some more stuff to do with them, fit them in, fit the story around them a little better. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you very much to my players for coming along and creating such vivid Imperial specialists. For the rest of the week, join us tomorrow when we have some more of the One Ring. A curious missive from Rivendell, for Rivendell, one of those. I think it's for Rivendell because we're going there. Come and join the Wacky Accent Brigade as we perform comedy British accents across all of Eriador until we get to Rivendell. And then on Friday,
We've also
Jim's
got
in
North
the
America.
house. Oh, Garblag North America, Thursday, Starfinder, isn't it?
That's right. At the first episode of the Horizon of the Vast AP. We'll be starting that Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So when everybody in Great Britain is asleep.
And then Friday, Jim, what are we doing on Friday?
It's The Enemy Within, I believe, episode.
I keep Roger happy.
Yes. So yeah, we've had some good feedback so far for episode 1.
And Jim's been setting us homework for people who don't know. Each sort of month, Jim's been setting us homework to answer a question in character about our characters a little bit. And this week, the question was about who in all of history we would like to go for a drink with. So come and check out the Discord to see what people are saying for that.
And make sure you tune in for Turpin's intro, because he got the job last week of doing the intro to the next session.
Yes, and it's going to be, I believe, a letter home to his mum or his aunt or something.
His mum and his mum's boyfriend, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
But no. Yeah. I think it'll be good. So.
Yeah, but that's us. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hopefully Pete is listening and looks like he might be, and can turn us off any second now. I'm just going to message him just in case.
We'll just wave now.
Woohoo.
And we're waving, and we're waving. Imperial music. Bum, 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 bum. For the glory of the Emperor.
Indeed.
Yeah, we do like a little bit of Warhammer over here on Garblag Games. So thank you very much for coming along and supporting us this evening. And we will be back with some more in 2 weeks after Lex Arcana, which is next week, where Lewis is doing some more ancient Rome shenanigans in a parallel fantasy world with magic lions. I'm going to go with, yeah, magic lions.
There may be magic lions.
Definitely a possibility.
It's a really interesting system. It's based on it's an Italian game. It's an English conversion of an Italian game, and it's got some very interesting mechanics. Well worth looking into. And
actually, Narrative Execa said, thanks for adding my favorite chapter into the game. It had come down to 2 chapters. I had it down to 2. It was either going to be a salamander or a carcharodon. And I hadn't made up my mind which it was going to be. And I was edging towards the salamander side of things. But then everybody started talking about space sharks. So I went, oh, go on then. It could be a carcharodon.
You got to have space sharks. I mean,
got to have space sharks. And they are a pretty cool chapter. They've come back out of deep space with this. We're not telling you where we've been or what we've been doing, but it was cool and dangerous and we exploded stuff along the way. So yay, space sharks. Anyway, we're all good. Thank you very much and good night.
Cheers.